Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today I want to talk about Daggerheart, which is the big announcement that Critical Role came out with for their State of the Press video that they came out with last week. And it's a new long-term character-based, progression-based RPG. And many people, most people, assume it's going to be the replacement for D&D on Critical Role channels. And I agree. I do believe it's going to be the thing that they're going to switch to. They're going to switch from D&D to Daggerheart, as Matt will be able to, have it all in his own head. He's creating it all along with other people, I'm assuming. And, they're looking to move away from D&D with everything that's gone on lately and how they've been playing D&D for, I think, 8 years now. And initially, one D&D was coming out, but it's not anymore. It's now just going to be a revised 5th edition. So, it's a good time for them to make a switch, because a lot of people were thinking about making a switch to other things during all this whole confusing time with Hasbro and their bad decisions. So, and they've probably been thinking about this for even longer than that. They've said it a handful of times, our own system would be really cool. But this way they can own everything that they have at their disposal. Like, one of the big issues they have right now is, they don't own D&D, so they can't do a whole bunch of things that I'm sure they want to do. So this change to Daggerheart, which would be the system they do for their campaigns from here on out, is a good thing. It means that they can do literally 100% of the merchandising. They can get 100% of the money from it. They don't have to worry about any predatory actions from Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast or anything like that. And, it would be really cool, because this way I'm sure they would be able to support other creators more often. Like, they could have a whole OGL thing for themselves and, have a bunch of people create stuff for their games. My big thing is, I have a couple of questions that I really want to know, the answer to, because they've been building a lot of their stuff around D&D for 8 years. Exandria is built around D&D and all that stuff. The gods from Exandria are the Forgotten Realms gods. So, my question is, how much are they going to lose in the transition between Daggerheart from D&D to Daggerheart? That is my big question, because like I said, the gods from the campaign are the base D&D campaign gods. There's a handful of those gods. There's Tiamat running around, Wild Mother, all of them. Those are all gods from Faerun, which Matt has gone on record in the past saying he mildly regrets that, but at the time it was just something like a really quick answer to, here's my gods, they're right there. So, and honestly, Campaign 3 is mildly answering that question, which could be, if the Bell's Hells continue to sort of lose, the gods will die. So then he'll be able to restart. But at the same time, the Legend of Vox Machina show also technically answers this, because they use those gods loosely as like a baseline, but then they change names and they change a bit about them. So if they don't kill the gods off in Campaign 3, that is their answer. They could just change their names, make them loosely similar, and technically that is what a lot of religions do in real life anyway, so wouldn't really matter. They would now have their own set of gods that are very similar but not the same. So that's a mild thing. For me, I'm questioning all of the classes that Matt has. So he's created a bunch of classes over the years for D&D. Started with Gunslinger and Bloodhunter, which are now both on D&D Beyond, and practically the only place you can get them outside of the original Tal'Dorei campaign guide. But they're exclusively there. So does that mean he's going to lose those classes? Is that going to be something he has to rewrite from the ground up? He probably already has rewritten them from the ground up to fit this new system, whatever it's going to be. So, and along with those two classes, all of the classes that were in the Wildmount guide are likely behind the same sort of wall of Wizards of the Coast probably has some sort of ownership on them. I'm curious as to what the exact deal is between Wizards of the Coast and Critical Role, because if he can't keep all his classes, he has to basically just do the same thing he's doing with the gods, which is name them something different, change them to fit the new game, and then bam, technically he's got them again. But at the same time, the names Bloodhunter, Gunslinger, Cobalt Soul, the Monk Cobalt Soul class, I forget what it's called, and all of these classes that he sort of made, the Graviturgist, and the Time one, the Chrono Wizard one, I forget what that one's called, but there's so many classes that he's made that he might lose like the names of the iconic names of like specifically Gunslinger and Bloodhunter are the ones that I'm thinking of, and The Way of the Cobalt Soul. Those are the three that I'm sort of thinking of like him potentially losing. What's good though is he hasn't released anything like surrounding the current class for Ashton and FCG, so he can keep those. And the other thing is, all of the classes from the Teldore campaign guide, the Reborn one, he can keep all those too because it wasn't through Wizard of the Coast. So he's not losing everything and having to restart them and do something completely different or name them something completely different. So I'm just really curious and I want to learn more. They're apparently going to have a version of it at Gen Con, but I don't know how much of a version of it they're going to have. Based on how long this kind of stuff takes to make, I'm curious how long this has been in development. And when Matt was talking about it on the video, he made it seem like they were like kind of getting there, right? They weren't supposed to talk about it, sort of thing, is what he was saying. Like, oh, we shouldn't talk about it, but... And then he announced the name of it. So, to me, that says they're getting to where they think playtesting is going to be available, but it's still quite a ways off. They're going to finish Campaign 3 before they even, sort of put out a playable version completely with all of their stuff. So I would imagine we're still probably easily a year or two away from the actual thing coming out. But it's still exciting to talk about and still interesting to think about and speculate. Because, like I said, the classes and the gods are kind of a hurdle that they have to jump over right now for the transition. Unless they just wipe everything and they don't use Exandria anymore. Which I highly doubt they'll do. It is a possibility, but like I said, don't think that's going to happen. Matt has put a ton of effort into Exandria, and I would imagine you're going to be able to pick up the Explorer's Guide, Call to the Netherdeep, and anything else like the Teldore Reborn campaign guide. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. You're going to be able to pick up all the books that they've made up to this point, and I'm assuming you're going to be able to make an easy transition over to whatever this game is. Because there's a lot of lore, there's a lot of interesting characters, a lot of interesting monsters that they have in those books, so it would be a shame for them to be virtually useless in Daggerheart. So I imagine a big portion of what they're doing with Daggerheart is trying to make it an easy switch from D&D to Daggerheart. Now, some things that I would like to see Daggerheart do differently from D&D. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of rules confusion that always happens 24/7 in D&D, so I would like them not to overly make too many rules about things, but, have a little bit more. Change the fucking D&D fall rules, because the falling rules goddamn suck in the actual D&D world, because you fall instantly in D&D, which is really stupid. So that's one thing that I would like to change. I would also like to see, like, a lot more armor customization. So, like, braziers are, like, in its own thing armor. You don't just get one huge leather piece of armor, and that's what you're stuck with until you get, like a helmet or a shield. I would like them to like have braziers be their own thing, armor that gives you plus whatever, boots be their own thing, pants, torso pieces, helmets. I would like there to be a lot more customization in Daggerheart, kind of more like Pathfinder from what I gather from Pathfinder. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I would like to see the level system be higher. Instead of like level 20, you can go up to like level 30 or something like that. I think that would be really cool. So let me know what you guys think down below about Daggerheart, and do you think they're going to make the switch, or are they just releasing a new game? I think they're making a switch. There's no reason for them not to make a switch once they release their own game, because that way they will no longer be under any sort of scrutiny for working with Wizards of the Coast, and they won't be under any predatory potential attacks from Wizards of the Coast, because when they came out with the whole OGL 2.0 thing, it sounded like they were attacking Critical Role to me. Because they were like, if you make, I think the number was really high, if you make over X amount, you have to pay royalties. I was like, there's only a handful of people or, companies that make supplementary D&D stuff that reach that number, and Critical Role was 100% one of those, numbers. So definitely thought that OGL was attacking them as well as some other bigger ones. So for me, them getting out of Wizards of the Coast like boot is a huge thing for them. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below about Daggerheart. I'm excited to see this. I would like to look at other RPGs. Like right now, I've been very D&D focused. I've looked at Pathfinder, and I didn't really find too much different about it from D&D for me to make the switch. I played Savage Worlds once or twice. I did not enjoy it, which is why I'm not. They made a whole another announcement in this video as well, Critical Role, which was like a D6 format RPG, and I am not touching that. I hated Savage Worlds, and it's a D6 thing as well, and I goddamn hated that. Or at least it was D6 when I was playing. I don't know if like different weapons or different dice, but when I was rolling, it was D6, and I goddamn hated it. So it was bad. I didn't like Savage Worlds at all. But I'm excited for Daggerheart. I'm probably not going to touch the other one that they announced. Daggerheart's the one I'm excited about. So let me know what you guys think down below about Daggerheart, about them potentially switching. When do you think they're going to switch? I think they're going to switch after Campaign 3, not like during, like a weird switch during. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Peace.